Um, we're live over here. The continuing saga of this mess right here, this car, this fucking joke. We're live because I want to continue to make these videos and let people know out there that this is a joke. All right, this is ridiculously insane, and I'm going to go over it with you. Now, what you're looking at is you're looking at the engine, which is an old school Chevy style engine. Even though it's a ZZ6, it's an old school Chevy style engine, meaning that the crankshaft is basically a small block Chevy, big block crankshaft, a one-piece seal crankshaft. It is not an LS crankshaft. It has nothing to do with LS at all. There's nothing on here that's LS on this engine. And that's basically what it is. When we come over here, we have a Magnum T56 6-speed. This is a transmission specifically designed for a LS engine. This is an LS transmission. This is LS. This is a typical, normal, average, basic 350 Chevy engine with fast burn heads on it that makes it a ZZ6. And it's got the intake manifold. And the 4-barrel carburetor. And it costs $12,000. The transmission costs $5,800. I called Jags Automotive today after doing more research. And that engine, I went ahead and went through all of the paperwork on this engine in fine-tuned detail last night. It does not have an LS style crankshaft. When I was going through the paperwork, I found some other paperwork from the clutch bell housing kit, the Chevrolet Performance kit that the owner purchased a year ago. And it was the kit that I ordered from Jags, that Jags specifically told me that was the kit. That was the kit that goes to this combination. When we got that in, all right, not this time when I ordered it, we're talking a year ago, when I got it in, the flywheel would not bolt to the crankshaft because it is not an LS crankshaft. It is a 6-bolt flange crankshaft, but the bolt pattern on the flange itself of the crankshaft is different. The owner could have went to the junkyard and bought a 350 Chevy engine for $400 or $500 and then bought some fast burn heads and put it on there. And it had the same fucking thing. Had the same thing. This transmission, I'm going to go ahead and give you my 100% authentic opinion, is not fucking made for this engine. It is not made for this. This is an LS transmission. Now, this bell housing is supposed to be the bell housing that converts all this stuff to work. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I took it upon myself to buy the correct headers that are specifically made for this engine and car combination. The owner wanted to put power steering on the vehicle, so we did. This car was not made with power steering from the factory. They didn't have power steering on these vehicles from the factory. So by adding the power steering, we had to get special. Okay, here's the headers over there. I'm not even going to look at them because they're a nightmare. That's the head. That's the first set of headers that we bought. They did not fucking work with power steering. I took it upon myself to do it the right fucking way. And I got the Hedman headers that are specifically made for, you got it, power steering on a 67 Camaro. When I put those on there, this humongous, oversized boat anchor of a bell housing would not clear the exhaust. There's the piece that I cut off it to make it clear. You can see clearly that with this big hump on there, it would not work. There's no way. So I sat here on the phone with my buddy Blinky, truck driver Blinky, for over an hour and a half contemplating, should I cut that off or shouldn't I? Well, we decided we'd go ahead and cut it off. Now, you see I got it bolted together. I'm going to go ahead and explain something else. I don't have a clutch plate in there and I don't have a pressure plate. The only thing I have is the bearing, support bearing, the shaft support bearing in there. I wanted to go ahead and bolt this all together using that bell housing, the one that's made for this combination. And then I wanted to go ahead and put the drive shaft on it to see if it will spin freely in neutral. And guess what happens, people? Can anybody tell me what happened when I bolted this together? An LS transmission to an old school Chevrolet combination. Can anybody tell me besides being a smart ass fuck? The pilot shaft on a LS transmission is longer than the pilot shaft that would be on a correct transmission that goes to the small block Chevy. So when they tell you this is the bearing to use, put it in there, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the pilot shaft on that transmission is not made for this fucking crankshaft. Now I'm going to take a flashlight and we're going to go inside there and I'm going to show you. First, before we go anywhere, I want to show you this. I got two bolts holding this transmission on. I got the transmission bolted to the bell housing. I got two bolts holding the tranny on. And I want to show everybody, look at that gap. Look at that. Look at the gap. Do you see that? Now, it's tied up here, and it's not tied here. And the transmission is hanging freely. There's nothing holding it. Okay? Because I had a few morons out there telling me that I fucked up and jammed the transmission together and sucked it all together, and it was my fault, and I fucked it up. I didn't fuck nothing up, okay? I didn't fuck anything up. Now, do you see the gap? Can you see that gap? Let's get to the gap here. Here we go. Let me show you. Where's the? Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can see the. Okay, there's a gap. There it is. Do you see the gap? That's because the pilot shaft is jamming itself into the pilot shaft bearing on this particular crankshaft, which is a small block Chevy crankshaft, one-piece seal crankshaft, not an LS crankshaft, what's made for this fucking transmission. Now, I also found out another situation is there's only two bell housings that are made for this combination, and this is one of them. You can either buy this thing here, or you got to buy a QuickTime race car transmission, which costs $1,000. I'm sorry, bell housing. That costs $1,000. I found out that talking to these tech guys and all these high-tech professionals is a waste of time. They're only there to sell you their parts. Do you know that when you buy these parts, once you install them, there's no refund? Once you put them on there, and you can see, even if I wouldn't have cut that thing off and took this header off, since I bolted it on there and I found out it wouldn't work, I don't get a fucking refund. It's over. It's yours. It's a boat anchor. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you, and you're not here to see this, but now I don't have that in there super tight. I just have it on there. That's it. Okay? So when I turn this, and I'm fucking pushing really hard, you can see that this is jammed up and it will not fucking turn. And I put the drive shaft on it to make sure. So we're going to go down here, and I'm going to try to get inside here, and I want to show you. And you will see that this is jammed on to the bearing. It's jammed on there. And one more thing I want to tell everybody out there is thank you. I've been reading comments, and I got a lot of guys that are giving me advice. And I want to thank you for your advice. Okay, there's the... Can we get an angle of that? I don't know if I can, that's the best I can do. But if you look inside there, you can see the shaft is just literally smashing up against that bearing. And that is the outer bearing. That's the last point of fucking, that's it. That's it right there. That's the shaft. See if I can get, I can't get it. That's the best I can do. So you can see I didn't even put the clutch and pressure plate on because I want to see what the fuck this is doing. I want to see. So if I go ahead and add this bolt right here and the other bolt, and then I go ahead and add these two, what's that going to do? That's going to jam that fucking thing. It's going to pull it in there and break the bearing. It's going to break the bearing to where it's nothing. So I can't even find the shaft. So you kind of get the idea of what the fuck there it is. What the fuck's going on here, okay? I don't care what anybody says, all right? I don't care. Let me get up, hang on. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. This transmission is not made to put on this fucking engine. This transmission is not made to put on this engine. Can it be done? Can it be? Yes, it can. So then I started thinking, well, you know, maybe if I space the transmission out away from the bell housing using this piece of shit, that it might go ahead and bring it back far enough to get rid of that gap and then get the transmission where it's sitting on there. I was thinking maybe I can do that, but this is the other problem we have. If I use that thing, that's 1/8 of an inch thick. Hold on, let me come over here. Here's our box of junk right here. So then I would take this bearing and put it back on there. But then, do you see all these bushings? Hold on a second. Let me get them out. I'm sorry, not bushings, spacers. These are spacers. Okay, so these are the spacers, and they give you 10 of them. I would need more than 10 of them to space that bearing out. Let's go over here, because I want to show you this. Hang on one second. Let me get my camera on a stand. Here we are right here. Okay. Because it'd be a lot easier if I had two hands to play with. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to put that in here. Okay, so now what we got, okay, there, that's a lot better. Can everybody hear me out there? Give me a thumbs up if I got good sound. I don't know if the sound's coming through or not. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and show you this. So we get the clutch in there. Now, without this, okay, hold on a minute. Okay, without this right here, just like it sits right there when you do all your calculations and your measurements, what you come up with by using this bell housing, the pressure plate, clutch plate that they sell, this place here, and then this bearing, when you use all that combination, watch this. Okay? Do you see this here? That's how many shims you need. 9 of them. 9 of these shims to shim that bearing out when you're using this. Okay, so if I put this 1/8-inch spacer in there, if I put that in there, that's going to bring it back farther. And then I would need, okay, you see how thin that is, right? I would need three more of these. All right, so I'd have to call them and say, can you send me 2 more? But then hold on, we're not done there. We're not even done there. Because when I had 9 of these, them, okay, and this is where they go right here. This is how they go on there. And then it goes inside the shaft. And that's how many I had to use, just like that. Okay, that's how many I had to use, using this bell housing, this flywheel, their clutch plate and pressure plate, and this bearing. I had to use 9 of them. Look how thick that is. Okay, so by the time you get all that on there, this thing is actually coming off. It's like almost a 1/16 of an inch from the shaft that this thing rides on, and if it goes any farther than that, it'll fall off. Okay, it's like at the end of the rod here type deal. By using all these shims, okay, with this combination. So if I put this plate in there, right here, if I put that in there, and then I would have to add three more of these or 2 more of those. I mean, what the fuck? You know? Look, okay? Look. So, this combination of engine, transmission, and I'm sure if we bought that $1,000 bell housing, I'll bet you $100 that it would still not work properly. You would still have to do something like this to make it all work right. Speaking of this, I think I paid $75 for that, and I had to modify this to work. All the holes were too little. None of the holes lined up with this thing. You can see where I took a stair step drill and cut out. I drilled out the holes for every one of them. Every one of them. $75 for trash. That's all that is. Now, when this all started and we started working on the car and the owner was talking about motors and transmissions, my friend Pete, told him to get a 700 R4 overdrive transmission. Or you can get the brand new Borg Warner 5-speed. It's a General Motors transmission made for this engine combination. It's a 4-speed with an overdrive. That's what I told the owner to do. I have been out here since 6 o'clock this morning. 6 o'clock this morning messing with this shit. That's right, Luke. The 700 R4 bolts right up, put it in gear, and go down the fucking road. You're done. He paid over $5,000 for that transmission. He could have got a 700 R4 overdrive transmission for around $1,500 and been done with it. Done! 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 He could have been done with it. I could have this in gear, driving it around the block. I can be getting exhaust on it. I could have the fucking thing painted. This transmission is not made for this fucking engine. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. Anybody that leaves comments that says you don't know what you're doing, you're a fucking dumbass, you're stupid, I'll remove the comments and I'm going to fucking block you, plain and simple. And that's a fact. I have done everything under the sun to put this combination together except buy $1,000 bell housing. Now, anybody that's been following this little story, I actually have another video of this on my other YouTube channel, My Friend Pete. This is a bushing that I bought from another company. This is a brass bushing. And they told me, I had 10 guys tell me that the stair step part goes toward the transmission. It goes toward the transmission like that. And I kept saying there's no way, because the little part, it fits in there like this. So the little part will go inside the crankshaft. And they said, no, that isn't how it works. It goes like this. This is how it goes. And I said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and do that, but I just can't see it working like that. I put it in there. And what happened is the exact same thing of what's happening now. Identical. It jammed itself up in there, and it broke the fucking bushing. Just like that. Now, what the owner is going to do with this fiasco and this nightmare, I don't know. If he wants to go buy the $1,000 bell housing and, gamble, go to Las Vegas and pull the trigger and see if that'll work, hey, we can do that. That's fine. But I'm not buying it with my fucking money. I'm not doing it. Now, I gave him a couple other options. There's a company out there called MDL. I don't know what it stands. I forgot what it says. Something driveline, and they gave me a quote for a system which includes the race car drive, bell housing, all the clutch stuff, the factory bearing, not this bullshit bearing that's going on here, and it was $2,000. If the owner wants to gamble and take a chance by buying all this other shit and all this crap and do all this shit that we're doing, that's fine. We can do that. But I've been out here since 6 o'clock this morning. I took a 1-hour break for lunch. Any other shop in the world that would be doing this would be charging by the hour of fucking around, tinker toying, and wiggling dicks from one end of the shop to the other, and playing basketball with a sack of fucking nuts. But my friend Pete's out here for weeks. Let me say this again. Weeks. Dicking around, fucking around, pulling engines in and out of fucking cars, all because a Magnum 6 transmission is not made for an old school Chevy fucking one-piece crankshaft. LMAO. It's funnier than shit, ain't it, Mark? It's a fucking joke. You know, I'm glad that everybody thinks that my videos are clown acts and just loudmouth fucking loser shit. And the only reason I watch him is because it's funny and he gets loud. Do you ever think maybe there's a reason why I fucking get loud and why I cuss and holler? Maybe because I'm fucking broke. Maybe because I can't even pay to piss in a fucking pot. Because of this shit right here. This kind of fucking crap. Okay, let's go ahead and laugh at this. I've had this fucking car in my possession for like 7 fucking years. For 4 or 5 of those fucking years, it was stored out in the back of my shop for free. Free. I didn't charge the owner a nickel. So go ahead and LMAO that, bitch. Do it. Because it's funny. It's a hilarious joke is what it is. If I charge this fucking guy $150 an hour to come out here, tinker toy around, and drag my nutsack on the cold concrete, would not make up for 5 fucking years of storage. And now you know why Minnie the Body Shop girl isn't out in the shop working on this car. This is the biggest clusterfuck I have ever had in my life with an engine transmission installation. I've never had this kind of problem before. Yeah, you got it, Glenn. Minnie's got to live with me. Ain't that a bitch? Pain in the fucking ass, ain't it? Makes you want to crawl in a hole and fucking leave. I'm sure the owner's going to catch this video. And I don't know what he's going to do. I got to call into him. But this is what let me go ahead and tell you this. I've actually had several phone calls from people on this situation. Now, a couple of them actually are shop owners. And they said what they would do, not just one guy, too, but about 4 people. They said they would go down and they'd go down to wherever they can go and get a couple pallets and buy 7 or 8 2x4s and make some crates for the engine and transmission and drive shaft and throw all the shit in the fucking car and call the owner up or email him, tell him, come get your stuff, I'm done. I'm done. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it no more. I don't have to, fuck around with this fucking thing. I don't have to put motors and transmissions in because, I'm wrong and he's right. I'm wrong. I've never done this before. I told him to get a 700 R4 overdrive transmission with electronic fucking overdrive shift that goes inside the transmission. It's a manual fucking locker. I told him to get a 2100 stall converter. I told him to get the no yo-yo servos, Corvette servos, and it's a done deal. Put it in gear, go down the fucking road, and enjoy life. I suggested to him that he should get a Borg Warner 5-speed overdrive. We would be done with this. It'd be a done deal. But no, we can't do that. So, I've had this car for, I think I've had it longer than 7 years. I don't even fucking know. But I am about up to here with this shit. I'm fucking up to here. Higher than I can reach. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at a big pile of shit, people. Bill Howe says he remembers it sitting out back. Yeah, I fucking remember it too. When you run into a situation like this right here, and you have the car in your possession for so long, you're not making money. You can charge them $500 an hour. You're not making a dime. You're not making anything. All you are to the point is getting it done and out of the shop. That's it. Whatever money you think you were going to make 7 years ago, that's done and gone and spent because you have borrowed money, you have spent money, and you don't have any money anymore. So you're working for free. That's what it bases down to. Now, the owner, he has told me, charge me labor on whatever you're doing. He's told me that. But it doesn't matter because I'm not making nothing. The car has been here in my possession for 7 fucking years. And that goes for the Mustang on the other end of the shop. That goes for the 68 Mustang. I am not making no money on it. I'm not making shit. What little fucking money I ask from these guys, it's already gone. It's spent. It's done. I'm only asking these motherfuckers for money so I don't overdraft in my fucking bank account. I should be working on that car over there. That's the car I should be working on. But instead, I'm working on this because I want it out of my shop. I want it gone. I'm working on the Mustang so I can get it out of my shop and gone so I can get on something that I am making money on. So there's people out there that probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you. The reason this car and the Mustang have been sitting here for so long and in my possession is because the owners ran into turmoil problems of not having any money. And I told them, okay, I'm going to put your car out in the back and I'm going to work on other cars and then I'll work on yours when I get to it. That's the only thing I can tell you. Or you can come get it and get it out of my shop. I should have stuck to my fucking guns. I should have been an asshole and said, if you ain't got no money to work on your cars, you need to get it out of here. I'm not running a storage facility. That's what I should have said. But I didn't do that. I have a big heart. I help people out. I see we got approximately 233 viewers, and we only got 5960 thumbs up. I would appreciate it if we can get more thumbs up on my videos because that's what gives us the angle of moving up on the YouTube scenario because I don't get a lot of views, people. I don't make a lot of money. I don't get a lot of views, and these videos are basically for me. No, I can't shim the flywheel. Why would I shim the flywheel? I'm not being a smart ass, but I can't do that because that would put the flywheel closer to the transmission. The transmission has to come farther away from the flywheel, not closer. It has to come approximately 3/8 of an inch away from it. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, giving you the fucking lowdown on the situation and saying it's a dog-eat-dog fucking world out there, people, and if you can't deal with it, don't even start. I want to go ahead and say one more thing. I got a call from a guy. I believe his name was, I don't even want to say his last name because he might call me back. His name was Mike, I believe. So if your name wasn't Mike, I'm sorry, but I believe I get hundreds of calls every week. So I had this guy call me and he said, hey, Pete, I watch your videos, your live videos, and you pronounced my name wrong. It's this, not that. Okay, I'm making live videos on a cell phone. The fucking letters are like this fucking big. The comments and people are going this fast. I'm fucking sorry, dude. After he told me that, he hung up. I called him back and had a little chat with him. Turned out he was a really nice guy. Now, I don't remember if his name was Mike or Bob or George, whatever. But if I don't say your fucking name right, or I don't pronounce your last name correctly, it's not because I'm being a dickhead. It's because I'm watching it go this fast on the screen, and I'm just trying to be a nice guy to acknowledge that you are fucking watching me. So my day is basically shot. My day is totally shot. There's nothing I can do. I wanted to get this back in the car. I was actually test fitting it together. It didn't fucking work. It's not gonna work. Nothing will work on this. And I don't know what to tell the owner. Maybe we ought to put it in storage for another 6 years. Maybe we ought to do that. You think? How many people think we ought to just go ahead and put it in storage for 6 or 7 more years and then just be done with it? And then when the owner decides to make his own mind up of what we really need to fucking do, he can let me know, and we'll go from there. Because I don't think the owner's going to be too happy that he spent $5,500 fucking dollars on a piece of boat anchor. I know what he could do. He can go ahead and call Jags up and buy an LS fuel injection engine. What is, buy that? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm fucking stuck here. That's it. I'm done. Until further notice, there's nothing I can do except leave this fucking thing right in the middle of my shop. Look at this. Let me give you a better look at it. Okay? I got plastic all over my floor. Look at the fucking oil leaking out. Okay, that's probably already saturated through a little pinhole or something. That's actually underneath the fucking plastic. I got his car sitting on jack stands. It's been sitting like this for the last month and a half. And yeah, I can't even get out my fucking door. So, maybe we ought to go ahead and just put it in storage, and I'll go buy a tarp and cover it outside. Because we can't do anything with the way it is. It ain't going to happen. That's what I should be working on right here. This is it. I should be working on this motherfucker, putting some money in my bank. Oh, don't get me wrong. These guys owe me money. These guys owe me fucking money, okay? Mr. Camaro, Mr. Mustang, they owe me money. They will pay me my money. Trust me. They owe me fucking money. I got an aunt that lives in Denver, Colorado. And I went ahead and made this for her. Now, what this is, and we got backlighting. So we got the half moon and star on top, and then we got this little goofy gnome wizard on the bottom. And what we're going to do is me and Minnie, the body shop girl, how you doing? Doing all right today? You got a U-hauler coming?
Yeah, I've got 2 coming.
Okay, so I need to get off and help, right?
Not unless you just want to their trucks.
Okay. So anyway, I made this for my Aunt Glory, and I'm going to bury it in the ground, approximately 2 feet in the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I got this birdhouse on order, this big giant birdhouse I'm going to put on the top of it. And then this will be in her backyard. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool situation, old gnome guy here. And then, of course, we got the half moon up here, so with the smiley face, kind of like a clown face with a tear. So, I did that yesterday. I did that yesterday, Because I was waiting on this bitch right here. Nothing to do. That's what I should be doing right there. That's what I should be doing. I got to go. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you watching. We'll keep you updated on this situation, and if something new happens, I'll definitely let you know. Yeah, nuts and look at that. I was all excited. I had all my nuts and bolts all ready to go. Everything was ready, and then bam, we found out the true story. I had two guys. I called Center Force. I called Center Force back, and then I called that MDL, and the shaft on this Magnum 6 is longer than it's required to be in there. It's bullshit. I'm going in circles. I got to go. Thank you very much. At least the drive shaft works. I got to say, whoever made that drive shaft was out in Oklahoma, did an awesome fucking job. That works. That fucking works. I got to go, people. I got to go.